What is going on, everybody on YouTube? Steve here, Raking Profit. Welcome back to another show. You guys are in for a freaking treat tonight. We got the boys back from Amazing Freedom tonight. We've got Andy Slamans all the way to the left. We got Leron Hirschkorn, and we also have Nathan Slamans on as well. And really, really excited for this show because you guys have been asking so many questions about starting your Amazon business. You guys are really hitting 2018 hard. You're excited. And I wanted to bring these guys back on to answer your questions, to go over some challenges and things that you guys have been facing in your private label business. And I'm really, really excited for this show. And why don't I just have everybody jump on really quick and introduce yourself. Andy, what's going on, my man? How are you over in Hershey, Pennsylvania?
Hey, Steve, doing good. Trying to stay warm here. It's a little cold, but doing real well.
Man, I hear you, man. It's been like -50 the last week on the East Coast. You guys on the West Coast got it good. Let us know in the comments, is it below or is it above freezing where you live right now? Leron, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on? Definitely below freezing in New York City. Doing well. Thanks for having us on.
Awesome, awesome. And we have Nathan. He's got a little screen share action going on, but why don't you say hello to everybody, Nathan?
Hey, Steve. Yeah, I can't see my face, but hopefully you can hear my voice all right. I wasn't on here with Andy and Leron last week, but I am partners with them in Amazing Freedom, and Andy Slamans is actually my uncle, so we got the blood relationship going as well.
Awesome, awesome, man. Thanks, guys, for being here. It's really, really going to be a fun show. We got a bunch of people flowing in to this show right now. We got 27 Zach McClee saying greetings from Pittsburgh. I know it's cold in Pittsburgh right now. We got Eric Parrish saying hello, Steve. Jacko Man S, Connecticut here. That's where I'm from, so I know you're below freezing over there. Lad RM saying hello from Ontario, Canada. So we're going international right now. We got Michigan in the house right now. We got Luke Man Tarer saying hello. Bob Weiss, finally warm in Florida. Bob, come on, man. Don't shove it in our face that you're in Florida right now. Good to see you, Bob. We got Anthony Wholesales in the house, TY Hipstar. So we got a bunch of people in right now. And I want to let you guys know that we are going to be answering some questions during the show as well. And really the main goal is to help you guys out as much as possible to start 2018 right, to get your Amazon business going and to really just crush it this year. So with that being said, I am going to pass it off to Nathan. And why don't we get this show on the road? I know we got a lot of really, really cool stuff to talk to these guys about. So what's happening, man? Unmute yourself and let's get this going.
Awesome. Thanks, Steve. Well, we're all excited to be here, excited to drop some private label golden nuggets. I think we got a couple in here that are really, really valuable. What we're going to talk about is how anyone in the chat here tonight can figure out how to build a brand to really the 6-7 figures. There's really no limit to it. And we're also going to talk about how Andy was actually able to sell over $1 million of one product in 2017. Sounds crazy, right? But just one product, he was able to sell over $1 million worth. So going to cover two things, right? How to build a brand to 6-7 figures and beyond, and how this one product did that. And so to get started, I'm really going to focus on Andy and Leron because they're superstars. They have some crazy, awesome sales and constantly helping other people how to learn. So Andy, I'm going to pass it off to you right away here. Why don't you kind of go through how you got started with Amazon? I know we talked about this a little bit last week with Steve on the show, but share a little bit about where really your roots are in Amazon and then where you've gotten to today.
Sure. So when I first started, I cut my teeth on some of Steve's videos on YouTube. I started out thrifting, learned how to sell clothes. So sold some high-end clothes for a little bit. That's a picture there with Chris Green. You guys probably, you may have heard of him, read his book on retail arbitrage. And that's kind of how I jumped into the Amazon game. So I went from eBay to Amazon. Been selling on Amazon now for about 5 years. I've been selling private label, what we're going to talk about tonight, for 3+ years. I've been fortunate to be able to sell over a couple $1 million of my own brands, which has been really cool. I enjoyed thrifting. I enjoyed the treasure hunt. But when I was looking at it to do it full time, I felt like I needed a product that I could replenish that I didn't have to necessarily always find the next thing. And so that's what private label has been able to do for me. And then we have a picture. I think I just actually recently leased 12,000 square feet of warehouse space to take advantage of some storage, to be able to actually to store less at Amazon and store more in my warehouse. And then I'm also going to be working with other sellers sending their product in. So it's actually been a really fun ride, full time over the last 3 years. And I think we're just getting started. So I'm really excited about it.
Awesome. And Liran, you kind of have a similar background to Andy and how you got started with Amazon. Really started with retail arbitrage and a couple of different selling models, right? Why don't you go over that?
Yep. So I think we have a picture here on the left. I started with retail arbitrage. Those things in the car over there. Those anyone ever sourced pillow pets and made some money? So I think I got those at Five Below. And ended up selling them for like $15-16, and they were about probably $3-4. And I was doing retail arbitrage, and kind of the same story. I started getting restricted out of more brands with Amazon, and kind of saw the opportunity that I really, if I wanted to scale, I really needed to do something different than I was doing. I got some inauthentic claims out of selling some Nikes, and at Amazon, you can have a few customers complain and say that your item is not authentic, and boom, you get that warning. So I realized I really needed to build my own brands, and so I decided to focus 100% on private label, and I did that after taking Andy's course in 2015. Since then, I've sold thousands and thousands of products on Amazon. I did 1.6 million in sales this past year, and really I should have done probably 3 million plus. But I had some products that were new this year that I didn't anticipate how well they would sell. That just kept going out of stock. So this year, I should get to that 3 to 5 million in sales for 2018. And the one thing that I love about the private label business model is that I'm not out constantly going to stores, and I never touched a product, so I don't have to do any shipping or packing. My product goes directly from China directly to Amazon. And so in the Q4, when a lot of people are packing and shipping, I was able to go to Cabo last year, 2016, Cabo for a mastermind in Q4. I was able to go to China during Q4, and so I really love not having to touch the product. And I'm building basically two brands that are both multi-million-dollar private label brands. So I'm really excited about the future of private label.
Awesome. Well, hey, we want to, during this talk tonight, during some of the training we're going to be giving in just a little bit, we really want you guys to engage in the comments. I know Steve is hanging out in the comments. Andy, I think, is as well. And so, guys, we want you to participate, right? Drop some comments in there. If we ask some questions, hopefully you can give some answers. Nothing too difficult here. Andy, I'll let you ask a couple questions so that we can kind of get a feel where everybody is at in their e-commerce journey. It doesn't have to be Amazon specific, and it can be anything with e-commerce or entrepreneurship, trying to build up some kind of side hustle, right? So Andy, I'll let you ask a couple questions and we can kind of get a feel of where everybody is at.
All right, sure. So if you want, just type in the comments a number. If you sell on Amazon and you source from thrift or garage sales, maybe put a number 1. If you sell on Amazon or eBay and you sell maybe retail or you do online arbitrage, put a number 2. If you sell wholesale, put a number 3. If you sell private label currently, put a number 4, and that'll kind of help us get a little idea of where folks are at. So what we're going to be doing in tonight's show is we're going to be bringing you great information for long-term success. Liran, I, and Nate, we all sell full-time. This is what we do for a living. We want to be able to show you that you can actually private label, and it's not as complicated as it sounds. I know when I was first getting started, I thought, oh man, this is going to be way too hard. And so I actually stuck doing thrifting and retail probably longer than I should have, just because I thought the barrier to entry was a little too hard, but actually when I got into it, it's a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. And then at the end of tonight's show, we're going to have an offer for you. And I think Steve has some really awesome bonuses as well. So real quick, I just want to introduce you to two people. One is Sharon Watts. She is a member of our group, and I actually partner with Sharon. I was actually talking with her on the phone today. She's retired, 65 years of age, and she has figured out how to private label and import from China really well just in the last year and a half. The other one is a guy's name is Todd Day. He's in our group as well. And Todd, that's his dog Tippy there. He's learned how to import and private label as well. And we'll talk a little bit more about both of them toward the end of the show.
Okay, so the question is, who can do this, right? And, you know, what we think is that, you know, anybody can really do private label on Amazon, that it's not as complicated as, you know, a lot of people think. And so we want to kind of put those fears about private label being difficult. Let's put that to rest today, because we think that all it takes is really having the right systems and the right strategies in place that are going to be effective for you. And building a brand is much easier than people think if you do have the right strategies in place. You know, I think we're going to show a slide here of Jeff. And Jeff's been a private label seller, new to private label, but a retail arbitrage seller for years, and pretty much sums it up. He made a post in our group a few weeks ago, and basically what he wrote was, anyone who's questioning whether they could do private label, stop questioning. Just listen to Liran, Andy, and Nathan and put in the time, right? And you can see there that his daily sales for that day was just you know, $6,000 in one day, right? So he's taking action and he's putting those strategies that we'll talk about today in place to build up his private label business. So let's talk about some kind of trends that are happening in the marketplace, right? So CPC Strategy, company that actually they manage sponsored ads for people on Amazon, big company, recently put out an article talking about how more and more wholesalers are shifting their model from business to business to direct to consumer, right? So big brands that used to sell to a distributor who sold to a middleman, right? A reseller, somebody like us who was going to a trade show and trying to buy branded products to resell on Amazon. A lot of these companies are the future is that less and less of that is going to happen. And the reason is, as more of these companies are hiring millennials, and they realize that, hey, you know, we don't need to sell through, you know, that's an old model of selling through a distributor and a middleman. We don't need to do that. We can go direct to consumer, right? We can just go on Amazon and sell ourselves. And you know what this whole article was about is that we're going to see this shift of wholesalers cutting out those middlemen and just going to Amazon. So even if you're putting in the work to really build those relationships with those brands, a lot of them will realize that, hey.
Well, I think we lost Liran. I'll pick up where he left off. So I think a lot of those people are realizing that, hey, we can go right to the consumer, right? And so working with wholesalers is obviously just another way to make money, just like retail arbitrage, just like thrifting, just like private label, right? But at the same time, you really have to see what the trend is going forward. And so when you're buying online, oh, Liran, are you back? You cut out there for a couple minutes.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yep. Keep going.
All right, cool. So I have a question for everybody here. When you're buying online, I'd like to see what you guys write in the chat. Where do you start shopping? What's the first website that you go to? Do you go to Walmart.com? Do you go to Amazon? Do you go to Google? Jet? Do you go to? Does anyone use Bing? I don't even know. Does Bing still exist? I don't know. Maybe if you have Internet Explorer, they force you to use it, right? But I usually change the default right away. I don't know about you guys, but would love to hear where. So I see some comments: eBay, Amazon, Walmart. I see Steve asking who uses Bing, but a lot of people are saying Amazon, Walmart in the comments. So let's kind of see what the actual kind of research has shown. So the guy that you see here on the screen, his name is Scott Galloway. He's a professor. At New York University, NYU. He's a clinical professor of marketing. And he says, using technology and 1 billion people who will write reviews and then putting in algorithms, we can destroy the price premium that brands have commanded through consistency. All this advertising and all these things like packaging and shelf space and in-store promotions that we go after, it really doesn't add any value, and we can destroy it, right? So what he's saying is that, the kind of stuff like, if you used to want to create a product, you used to have to pay to get shelf space, and it's very difficult, right? I mean, if you want to create a product and try to get it to Walmart, that's a really difficult. You're gonna have to put a lot of marketing dollars and kind of beg Walmart to put your product on their shelf, and they're gonna also kill you on the price, right? Well, that's kind of a thing of the past. What he's saying is that people today can just you could just post a product on a marketplace like Amazon, and when people are searching, they don't really they're looking at categories. They're shopping by categories and reviews, and not necessarily by brand name, right? Which presents an amazing opportunity for all of us here, right? Who don't have major brand names, who are not building major brands, right? Who are wanting to build a private label business. So you don't really need to jump through hoops and pay exorbitant shelf space.
Well, Liron's having a little bit of internet difficulties, so we'll go on to the next one, Andy, where we're talking about, because of that, what does that mean? Because you don't have to pay for that fees, and you can talk a little bit about Amazon. Some of this we already know, and some of it are kind of cool to see the figures. I'll let you look at that next slide there.
So, I mean, Amazon's a great platform because they go after the premium customers. This is something I learned, like when I jumped from eBay to Amazon. A lot of times on Amazon, you can charge 2 times the price than what you can on other platforms. And so Amazon really targets the moms around my area. They don't call the store Target. They call it Target, right? Because it's like a little more upper class. They kind of go for the premium moms or premium customers. Well, Amazon's the same way. They're targeting those premium customers. Why can they do that? Well, they have, just like the slide says, they got 80 million Prime members. The average customer spends $1,300 a year. But the amazing thing about Amazon, and this is what makes it so easy for you and I when we bring our brand and do our proper research, is that every minute on Amazon right now, there are over 290,000 product searches taking place every minute. And I think that's probably going to go up to 1 million within 2 to 3 years. So when folks are online and they're looking for a product, they're no longer first going to Google. What they're doing is they're going to Amazon and they're starting their search there, which means that obviously that's a great thing for you and I.
All right. So, what does all this really mean for us? Well, what it means is that we have an amazing opportunity, right? If you're into, if you've been looking at the price of Bitcoin, right? Think, Bitcoin 2014, right? E-commerce is really just still starting. It's only about 10% of total retail sales. Amazon's growth has been explosive in the last 10 years, and the barriers of entry that once held us back have really come down, right? These are really the exact methods that successful business experts are using. Think about Shark Tank, for example. And actually, pretty excited. I have a call with the Daymond Johns people this Thursday to talk about my brands. So where would you have wanted to get in, right? This is a chart of Bitcoin. If you're looking at it here, where would you have wanted to get in? Would you have wanted to get in, here and 17, 18,000, right? Or would you want it to get, right there, right around, a few $100 for Bitcoin? And that's what I feel is the e-commerce opportunity, with it still being only about 10% of retail sales. This is still really the early days, or the way Amazon says, they even have Jeff Bezos building is called day one, right? Amazon believes it's still day one for e-commerce.
Awesome. Andy, I'll let you take this one.
Yep. So what we want to be able to do tonight, just really encourage you. I know for me, it was a message that a friend shared about selling on Amazon that really changed my life. And so, we want to share with you that same message that's allowed us really basically to change what we were doing. It's really changed our life around. There's actually someone in our group who gave me probably one of the best things I've seen. And he was took our course about 6 months ago, and he actually just quit his job And so he's selling now on Amazon full time. And he put a nice little note there. I think he said, "I quit my job, let the amazing freedom begin." So that to me was super exciting. He was an accountant. He's good at what he did, but he didn't necessarily want to stay there. And then we have another member, Shirley, who just put a very cool thank you there. So that's what we love doing. We love partnering and encouraging other folks as well. I know for me and my family, it's been life-changing. My wife was actually able to quit her job 6 months ago. She had worked for the same company for 18 years. But because my Amazon business is growing so much, she actually quit her job and has now joined up with me and is helping me build my business. So that's been exciting to be able to work alongside her. And we homeschool our kids as well. So now we're kind of got like a family business. It's almost like an Amish family, right? Where the family all works together. So I will put my kids to work. I won't hesitate to do that and let them build up some calluses on their hands.
Awesome. Well, I see a couple people in the chat saying they're joining us right now. Awesome. Glad to have you here tonight. We're about to get into some private label strategies and secrets, actually. And we've been giving a little bit of context with Amazon. I know a lot of you guys already know that, but I think it's good to hear just, the opportunity again and the encouragement, like Andy just said. And now we're going to talk about some of the specific reasons why we think private label is a model that just has insane potential over the next couple of years, especially in 2018 and 2019, like we said, still getting started. And so our goals for you tonight really is, if you're currently doing retail arbitrage or online arbitrage or thrifting, we want to show you how you can create a product that's replenishable and it can be ordered over and over without ever touching it. I know when I did RA, OA, that's how I got started. That was one thing. I liked the hunt, but sometimes it could get a little bit repetitive trying to chase that next dollar. And then number two, if you're currently doing wholesale, maybe anyone again in the chat, if you are doing wholesale, maybe drop a 2 in there again. We want to show you how you can continue to build your business, but then also create your own branded products where you fully own the buy box and there's not that race to the bottom, right? And so our other goal is just to go over what we think is the biggest opportunity, and then go over our specific system and process because we think it's one of the best ones that's currently available. And Lyra, I'm going to throw it back over to you. If you cut off again, don't worry, I'll pick it up right where you leave off, but I'll let you talk about why you decided to build your own brand, because you started with other models, and tell us why you went this way.
Yeah. So, really good question, right? Why did I decide to create my own brands, right? There's different models, lots of different models that you could do with e-commerce, right? You could do drop shipping, you could do RA, you could do OA, you could do thrifting, you could do wholesale. Why build your own brands? What are the reasons why I decided to do this, and why we think it's the most advantageous way to sell online and make money, right? Why not sell products of other brands, right? So the first reason is, increased margins, right? So there isn't really anyone between the manufacturing of the product. There isn't anyone between them and the customer, right? You get the product directly from the supplier. You sell it directly to the customer, and so you have those increased margins. There's nobody in the middle, right? So, I know when I was doing wholesale, I was getting like 15 and 20% margins, and when I started doing private label, I went to 30 to 50% margins on my product, right? So I'm gaining all that margin. The second thing is I control the price, right? So there's no MAP pricing. There's no, brand that's telling me what I have to price. There's no race to the bottom. There's no competing for the buy box, right? When I did a little bit of wholesale, I hated it when some people violated the MAP price. Does that ever happen to anybody here, where somebody violates the MAP price and you're trying to keep with it and the brand's not doing anything to control it, right? And it can be really, really frustrating. So I control the price. I can raise the price, especially, man, this past Q4, right? When there's so much demand, you increase the price, right? Q4 is when I make not only the most sales, but I make the most profit because I increase my prices as that demand increases. A lot of people, it's interesting. A lot of people ask me, do you run sales during Christmas time? No, the answer is no. I raise my prices, right? Because there's all that demand. So it's the most profitable time of the year for my business because I get to control the price, right? I get to control the listing, right? I'm the only seller on the listing. I write the listing the way I want. I don't fight for the buy box, and I don't have to deal with that race to the bottom because some person needs money or something, right? Or they decide they want to cash out of their business and they drop the price, and I either need to drop my price or I need to wait. And then, I also wholesale my products, right? So I can, I've done this before where I've needed cash flow in my business. I put an order in. and it's not going to be ready for a month, and then it has to ship. So I say, hey, Andy, do you want half the units? You give me the money right now. I make a little bit of profit on Andy. Andy still has margin to make money. We then share the buy box, and then I'm able to have that money to pay for my full order, with my supplier overseas, and I get to make a little bit of profit, get more cash flow, and then that helps me run my business sometimes. And I can choose. Andy has wholesaled his products to me before. I've wholesaled my products to Andy before. That's something I can choose. And if I really wanted to scale, I can go to a trade show and just decide to wholesale my products to other people, and not even sell them on Amazon myself, right? Lots of different options. And then lastly, this is really my favorite one, but you're really building up an asset. Think about the private label business and the brand building as building up an asset, right? Because you're building up something that has that you have the potential to sell, right? Once you have products that are producing revenue and are good sellers on Amazon, you can turn around and sell that to somebody else because you have something really valuable that you created. You have suppliers that only you know and only you have, and you have proven sales, right? And that's worth money. And there's people selling brands for significant amount of money. So let's talk about Amazon over the next few years, right? What's the future of Amazon look like? So let me ask a question to the chat audience here. Do you think more or less brands are going to get restricted going forward, on Amazon? Think about, I don't know, like Nike, right? Do you think Amazon's getting stricter, or is Amazon getting more lenient, right, when it comes to brand restrictions? Love to see what people think, right? So I see more restricted, more, yeah. So Amazon is getting getting tougher. They're I know when I had some inauthentic claims, they sometimes did accept a receipt, sometimes they didn't, and man, it's scary, right? When you're under their control in terms of what they're willing to accept and which brands are willing to sell. It can kind of be a little bit scary. Do you think that there are more sellers or less sellers coming into Amazon, right? And what does that really mean? That means more sellers or less sellers are going to be fighting for that buy box, right? So more, right? Every day, right? Every day, I see the chat here, every day, right? So I see somebody saying, so growing your own private label right now is a great idea. Yeah, and that's exactly it, right? More sellers fighting for the buy box. And lastly, is Amazon going to get more lenient or more strict when it comes to things like accepting retail receipts? I know when I had IP claims, thankfully one was from the Nike store and there were UPCs on there, and Amazon accepted it, and one was from Marshalls, no UPCs on it. Amazon just didn't want to accept it, right? And thankfully, didn't get suspended, but that made me pivot and say, hey, I need to change my business model and go into private label.
Awesome. And I'm seeing a couple questions here in the chat. Guys, our goal, what we'd love to do is answer every single question. I think we will do that between the chat, and when we're done here, we'll answer any questions that we don't get to during the presentation. But we would really like to answer all of your questions. But before we do that, I want to talk about 3 secrets to private label success. I want to get right into some of the valuable content that I think will help everyone that's in the chat be able to better visualize what they need to do in order to find private label success. So that's what I'm going to talk about here. The 3 secrets, and these are really 3 pieces that you can think of to the puzzle of private label. And again, just to real quickly, go over what private label is. It's basically, it's not a real complicated process. I think it's overcomplicated. It can be simplified into just a couple of pieces, right? Into connecting with the manufacturer to make a product that you're putting your own logo on and selling on Amazon. And that's really all private label is. Instead of selling other brands, you're selling your own brand. And it doesn't have to be a real complicated process. So let's talk about these 3 secrets: expert research, importing simplified, and our #1 ranking hack that is really part of the secret to getting your product visible in front of customers. So before we get into that, I want to ask, does this work? Because a lot of people can say, all right, that's nice. We know that some of the other models work, like RA, OA, wholesale, thrifting. We know it works. We ourselves do this, so we know it works, but sometimes it helps to see from other people. This is someone in our group who did 2 million not long ago. This was someone doing almost 300,000 a month. Someone else doing over 1 million. This person doing over 2 with profit over 600. So a lot of times we talk about just sales numbers, but it's good to get profit in there as well, right? Brenda here is an awesome member of our community that says she was partnering with someone, and we can see that her product was down there in the thousands, right? So there's lots of people doing this with success in our group. Just like to throw that in there. And let's talk about this first secret, expert research. When it comes to private label, or really any selling model on Amazon, you need to look at the data that is available on Amazon, and then you need to know how to use that data to find the right products that you want to sell, right? It's the same for all models, but with private label, it's even more important to look at the right things. So again, I'm going to ask a couple of questions in chat like we have been already, and see if anyone's heard this before. So who here has heard from another private label person before? Say anything like this. If you can just give a yes in the chat if you've ever heard this before. Things that you should look for in a private label product. Some people will say, go after products only that are small and light and can fit in your hand, or they might say fit in a shoebox, right? Has anyone heard that in the chat? If you guys are with me, go ahead and leave it if you ever heard it. Some people say go after products that can be shipped cheap by air, right? Only after air shipped products. Some people might say go after simple or non-complex items. Other people say go after products that cost less than $15 to produce. Often I hear people say avoid oversized products. And then a lot of people say don't worry about branding your product at first, or really what we're talking about with private labels, putting our logo on, right? So a lot of people say to avoid that. So what we say is, because we hear this so often and so many people kind of get pigeonholed into this one area, we say, us personally, we zig when other people zag, right? Or we zag when they zig. Either way, we try to go off from the herd because a lot of courses and trainings out there will teach you go after like really saturated products that are maybe under 1,000 bestseller rank, which means there's a lot of demand, but there might be way too much competition already on them. And so we like to focus on niches and areas that are underserved. And really, there's hundreds of thousands of these types of niches out there. You just need to know where to look, right? So if anyone here has gone through the free training series that we had right now, we talk about some of the ways that you can do this, right? One of the ways is you can look at Amazon bestsellers. Like we looked at video one of our training, which if you haven't looked at that, I know Steve has some links. He can probably drop it in the chat to check out after this through that training series. But we talk about looking at the Amazon bestsellers, and from there, looking at maybe accessories. So you don't necessarily want to look at that bestseller that's ranked 100, right? You want to look at an accessory that might not be as competitive as that main best-selling product. You can also dive deep into subcategories on Amazon. So we go through some research techniques on how to go into subcategories. So you're not just looking at the really broad competitive item, you're digging down deep. And another way that you can do this, and we'll just kind of throw something out there that's a newer tool, is by using the right tools. This is actually called Product Discovery. Has anyone heard of Product Discovery yet? It's just released in the last month or two by Viral Launch, which is a third-party data company software for Amazon sellers. Really awesome tool. It's very similar to, if anyone's seen the Jungle Scout web app, which if you're not familiar with either one, that's all right. But basically what it does is, instead of looking at Amazon from a buyer perspective, right, like you normally do on Amazon.com, you get to see things from a seller data-centric perspective, right? So you can actually put in the categories that you want to look at. You can put in the total amount of monthly revenue you want to see for products. And what this allows you to do is see products that are already doing well on Amazon and have limited competition in a number of areas. It allows you to see that and very quickly be able to get to those products. Now, the thing is that using tools like this is really cool. Viral Launch is a great company. Product Discovery is a really cool tool. However, having a tool and being able to use a tool the right way is two different things, right? So having product discovery by itself doesn't mean that you're going to find a winning product. You have to know how to use the tool. And so what we've done is we really spend time trying to get better at using tools like this, at understanding and analyzing the Amazon marketplace and catalog, so that when it comes to using tool or not using tools, you don't have to use tools. Andy and Liran, I think actually all of their $1 million products they found without any tools like this. But then we will use tools like this as well as we're evaluating ideas and as we're looking for new products as well. So as you're doing research, having a tool like this, or knowing what to look for, minimal reviews, right? And minimum competition, but high customer demand. These tools will show you how well something is selling, if it's seasonal. And so it really helps as you go through the research. And the truth is, with the right approach, anyone can find potentially winning products in just a few hours. And a lot of people say, like, it takes forever. If you use a tool like this, you can find products in just a few hours. Sometimes it takes longer than that, sometimes less. But we've definitely found products just sitting down for a couple hours in front of the computer and looking for the next private label product. Here's some people that are in our group that, say private label product 3 and 4. We can see boxes, right? And what's cool about this, again, is all of that is just one product that they can kind of reorder and get sent in. So your research is where you need to start, because finding the right product is 85% of private label success. The second part is importing. So I know a lot of people, when they think of private label, they think, wow, that sounds too complicated because I would never be able to bring something over from like China, right? Or somewhere overseas to the US. Well, the truth is with that is that importing is actually one of the easiest pieces. Kim is someone that was in our group who had never imported anything from overseas. We sat down with her one day. She attended a live event with us. We sat down with her, and after just half an hour, she was able to connect with a supplier on Alibaba. We used the chat feature, and she was able to connect with that supplier and get a sample ordered all the way from China, right? So Kim had never ordered anything from overseas, but in half an hour of using the chat feature, connecting on Alibaba, she was able to get a sample ordered, and within a week, it was at her house, okay? Here's someone else in our group that says, really what they're saying is don't wait to use Alibaba and the chat feature on there. Just using the chat instead of email can save you tons and tons of time and really cut down on the process. So the question is, why has this process been simplified? Why is private label not that hard? Why can you and I do it? Number one is Alibaba. It really connects other businesses with us. So you can connect with these manufacturers to get your product made. You can use the chat feature in Alibaba or Skype. Usually you can move from chat to Skype, and then you can connect with freight forwarders that really handle all of it for you. So you're thinking, I don't know how to bring a product from China to the US. All you have to do is get the right freight forwarder and a customs broker, and usually they work together. And you really don't have to do anything. They handle all the paperwork, everything for you. So it's not much different than ordering something online like Walmart, right? And sometimes it gets to you faster than it would if you ordered from Walmart, okay? And so you don't have to have a lot of experience. We have people that do this after just a couple weeks, import the sample and get their first product ordered. So it doesn't take a lot of time. It's not this huge complicated process. And again, it's actually one of the easiest pieces of the entire private label process. I have a couple things to write down if you're thinking about private label and you're thinking about going to Alibaba, whether you follow us or not. I think these are really important. So I'd like you to write these down, because this is where I think some people make mistakes when it comes to importing. And as long as you follow these, I think it's really simple to get started. So my first thing would be only work with gold suppliers on Alibaba. Okay, there's an option there to just check gold supplier, and I would only work with those gold suppliers. I would always order a sample, okay? Don't make the mistake of thinking that you don't need a sample. You always need one, okay? When you're starting private label. And I would look for ways to improve your product and make it better. A lot of people think of private label and they think of a garlic press or barbecue glove or a yoga mat, and they say, private label, it's just a bunch of people doing the same product. And I would say, yeah, a lot of people do that, and I think they do it the wrong way. And so I'd recommend always looking for ways to improve your product and make it better so that people would want to buy from you. And then lastly, and this could save you big time, is always get a third-party inspection done. No exceptions here. You want to get this inspection so you're getting good quality products, okay? That's really important. As long as you do that, importing process is not a big deal. And then lastly, third secret here, and we have some more bonus tips after this as well, but our number one ranking hack, a lot of people think that they can bring a product to the Amazon Marketplace and just throw it up and it's going to sell. Where the Amazon Marketplace is powerful, but a lot of people miss the mark on this one, okay? So you really need to have a way to not just throw your product up, but make sure that it gets visible in front of those millions of customers. And the way you do that is you have to rank it to the first page of search, okay? And so we'll hear some people saying, thanks to Andy, our product's on the first page of search. Super important. Shannon's saying that I was able to get my product after just a little bit and it sold out faster than I thought and she was able to get her product to the first page of search, right? Rachel's saying after just 9 days, I'm up to rank 16,000 in home and kitchen. All that's because they're using the right ways to get to the first page of search. And so let's look at why this works. The key here is that Amazon looks for certain things from us as sellers in our products. Amazon wants to see sales, number one, and it's really the key metric for ranking. If you're not familiar with the Amazon A9 algorithm, that's what really ranks and puts products in search where they are. It's the Amazon A9 algorithm, and it likes to see sales. But without a proper launch formula, really the way to bring your product to Amazon, your product may never reach your target audience. So even though you have a good product, if you don't bring it to the marketplace and get sales and launch it correctly to the first page or near there, you might never reach the people that you're trying to reach, even though there's millions of them out there wanting to buy your product. They can't find it. So the truth is that ranking products on Amazon is not difficult. All it does is it takes launching the right way, and a marketing budget to get there, and really just following the right systems and processes to do that. So one thing I would say is don't make the mistake. Some people make this mistake of spending your last dollar on your initial inventory order. Okay. This would be like going out and spending every single dollar you had on inventory, and then you don't even have enough money to buy boxes from the store to ship it into Amazon or to eBay, right? You don't even have enough money to buy tape or boxes. You spent your last dollar on the product, and you can't even send it in. That's kind of like this. So you don't want to make that mistake. And so how do you do this? Number one, you need to understand what your main keyword is. So if I'm selling barbecue gloves, I need to know that barbecue gloves is what I want to rank for on Amazon and what I want people to type into search to find my product. And then you also need to be able to analyze how many units your competition is selling for that main keyword, because that's really important in trying to determine how many, what your launch formula is going to be when you get to Amazon. We also have a couple bonus tips here, guys, trying to just hit you quickly with this information. And then I'm hoping that talking about this will get you thinking of questions, and then we're going to answer those questions. We have a couple bonus tips we'll hear from Andy and Liran. Number one is Andy's secret for differentiation, or Liran's actually differentiation that can take less than 10 minutes. And then we'll hear a bonus tip from Andy as well. So Liran, if you want to go over some of the strategies that you've been using to differentiate your products and get them better than the competition.
Yep. So basically, once I find a potential private label idea, I don't look to just copy exactly what's on Amazon. I look to other websites for inspiration to figure out, is there any way I can differentiate this product? Now, I'm not really the most creative person, so I find there's other great resources online that I can look to differentiate a product, and this works really, really well. And the reason is because most sellers don't really bother to do this, right? So you can get inspiration from a lot of sites like Pinterest, Etsy. You can search for a product and look at Google Images, and you can find products that literally they don't exist on Amazon, meaning you might find, we'll look at an example here, but they already have customer demand, right? But that sort of design or that look or that packaging is not on Amazon, and you can really use that for inspiration as to how to make changes to a product. I show that image to my supplier, and they're able to make the changes that I want to the product, and I can really differentiate. And that's a lot of the success I feel my products have had is because of that. So let's look at an example here. I literally just did this the other day. I went into Pinterest, and I'm not saying go ahead and do a yoga mat, but just an example. I did a search for yoga mat, right? And all these like different, designs came up. And then, what I thought was interesting was this cork yoga mat bag, right? Kind of like a design, a look that I never would have thought. Looks kind of cool. I think there would be a market for people that, that think that kind of a look, natural, rustic look would be pretty cool. Looks like you can put a bunch of stuff in there besides the yoga mat. And it's just a way to get inspiration for a potential product idea. We already know that yoga mats have demand, but now we want to find and how to make the product a little bit different than what everyone else is selling. And so I can really use, sites like Pinterest, Etsy, Google Images to get inspiration for product idea. And this strategy, I wouldn't really, now don't go out and do yoga mats again, but I wouldn't underestimate this strategy. It's literally helped me make hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales on Amazon just with this one, hack or strategy.
Awesome. And I'm seeing a lot of, Liran, what you mean, I'm seeing a lot of good questions in the chat. We want to answer every single one. Some of them are about patents and infringement, stuff like that. We'll answer those in just a few minutes because they are really good questions. We definitely have answers for them. If anyone thinks they have a question that they think we can't answer, love to challenge us with it, right? If you can think of a question we can't answer about private label, it has to be private label related or Amazon, throw it out there, because we always like a good challenge. Andy, I'll let you talk about this one because this is something you were able to do in your product. Give us bonus tip number 2.
Yeah, so the bonus tip number 2 is you have to understand and read those reviews of the products that you are going to compete against. There is gold in the customer reviews on Amazon. We know that Amazon, the platform, when it was originally getting started, it was built heavily on peer reviews. That's kind of how they became a trusted source. You could go there, you could buy a product, and you could look at those peer reviews. Well, this product that I have that I sold over $1 million worth of in 2017, the way that I found it was looking at a competitor's product. He's actually a major brand. They sell themselves to Amazon. And so a lot of times when folks are looking at products, if they see Amazon selling the product, sometimes they get scared, but that's not necessarily the case. Sometimes it's actually good to compete against a product that Amazon sells, because Amazon is such a large company. Sometimes they fall asleep at the wheel with their listings, as well as companies that sell to Amazon tend to be large. And so this company, it's a name brand. Like if you went in some of the major box stores in America, you would know the name of the brand. They've been selling this product for 2 years on Amazon. And here's the crazy thing. The sales velocity of this product was about $150,000, $175,000 a month. Yet the average star rating on the product was 3 stars. So that's what we call a vulnerable listing. That's a product that if you can connect with the manufacturer and you can meet some of those concerns of the customers, that's a product that you can compete and beat out the manufacturer that's there. So we read every single review and we understood what the customer was looking for in the product. We went to the manufacturer, we made a few tweaks to the product. And here's what we did, I think that's really different as well. We're super responsive. When customers have issues with our product, we contact and connect with them immediately. And we did that right away. So while our competitor, whose average review was 3 stars, ours now is, we've been selling for 18 months. The average review was 4.5 stars. And I attribute that to the fact that we connect with our customers right away. And so, you know, you need to stay connected to those reviews, the ones that you are going to compete against, as well as you need to look at the reviews on your own product. Now, one of the ways that you're able to do this, we actually have an extension. If you went to some of the links that Steve put up earlier for our course, you can actually download this extension and it'll extract the reviews for you. So it makes it a lot easier. Just kind of simplifies the process. But there is gold in those reviews. And so you definitely want to look at them. There's a screenshot of the product that we are competing against. You can see that it's 3 stars where ours now has 4.5, and we just keep building, and we've taken away major market share from this large company. But it's because we're smaller, we're able to be more agile, and we really listen to the customer.
Awesome. Liron, are you still with us? I know we're jumping off a little bit.
Yep, I'm here. All right. So, you know, one of the, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yep. All right, cool. So, you know, one of the questions that, you know, that sometimes people ask us, and fair question, they say, hey, you know, those that can't do teach, right? And, you know, maybe sometimes that is the case, but in this case, I would say it's wrong, right? Because we are operators in our private label business. You know, people ask us, are we selling the shovels instead of, you know, digging ourselves when it comes to our Amazon FBA business? And, you know, we do both actually. And, you know, I think we do both really, really well. You can see a screenshot here of these are my sales for this past last month in Black Friday to December, $427,000 in sales. Probably could have been, again, a lot better if I didn't, you know, stock out of products already in early November. Sales were kind of crazy. And of course, you know, this was my best month of the year. But, you know, we, you know, sold about 1.6 million in 2017. And, you know, again, I'll sell 3 to 5 million next year. So we not only, you know, I feel like if you are not in the weeds actually building the business, then you're not really qualified to teach, because you don't know actually what, other sellers are actually going through, right? So, that's why Andy and I feel like we are well qualified to help other sellers, because we ourselves are going through and have gone through the exact same steps that we recommend people to grow a healthy, successful business on Amazon. So let's kind of talk a little bit about who this is not for, right? Who is private label not for? Maybe it's not for you. Well, I would say if you only have $500, right, in savings right now, or $500 to get started with something, I would say private label is not for you, right? You probably would want to have a couple $1,000s for your first product launch. And if you have $500, you could do other things, arbitrage, you could do other methods to hustle. My 23-year-old nephew last week made $450 shoveling, right? So go hustle, shovel some snow, make some money, and build up some capital if you want to do private label, but you're just not there yet. And again, like I said, there's other methods. If you're obviously not really committed to making private label part of your business, it does take some time and energy to get it going. So, you do need to focus. If you don't, obviously it's not going to work out. And then lastly, if you think private label is a get rich quick, I'll tell you a quick story. We have a chat on our website. You can go on there. You'll go on there if you go to the link that Steve gives you, and you'll come on. And somebody asked us, came on the chat this week. They were chatting with Andy and I, and we were laughing. And they asked us, hey, I have a product that's not really doing well, and I see you guys have a 30-day guarantee. Am I going to be like, is my product going to explode after 30 days being in your course? And if it doesn't, am I going to get my money back? And we said, no, it's not a get rich quick thing, right? Andy and I were talking to them in the chat, and we said, hey, it takes 2 to 3 months to launch your first private label product, right? You got to do research. You got to import the product. It's not a get rich quick thing. We have a 30-day guarantee so that you can see the content, you can see if we actually answer questions, you can see if it's valuable to you, and if not, you can request a refund, right? But it's not a get rich quick thing. If you're in it for get rich quick, go buy some altcoins. But private label is not going to be the right strategy for you. But we do have if you are interested in growing your private label, there is a special offer, and I saw some of the bonuses that Steve was offering, and honestly, I was kind of floored, because some of the things that Steve has offered to you guys, you should consider yourself really fortunate in terms of what Steve is offering on top of what our regular course members, anybody who goes to our site, is able to get. So you guys have an opportunity to get some special bonuses that Steve is offering.
I see Steve is going to change his name to Shoveling Profits from Raking Profits. I think that's really good. Steve's going to go into the snow shoveling business. That's awesome. So if you guys are okay with it, maybe give me a yes in the chat. I'm just going to explain what this is. Again, like Liran just said, this isn't for everyone. So you really have to ask yourself, is this right for me? We think the opportunity is there. We think the opportunity for every single person on here tonight is there. But the decision to do it might not be right for you at this moment. So let's explain everything that's in it. And then Steve, I'm going to let you after that quickly go over your bonuses, because I know they're really awesome. So my question to you would be, going into this, what if you had the private label knowledge and skills of Andy Slames? He's been doing this for 3.5 years now, has a couple $1 million products. And what if you had the Amazon sponsored ads knowledge of Liran? We didn't talk about it. I'll talk about it in a minute, but Liran is an expert at Amazon sponsored ads, at keywords, a number of things, right? So what if you had basically access to his brain? And so what we put together, and we just want to go over real quick, is what our course is. It's the Amazing Freedom private label course, but it's not just that, it's more than that. It's actually 4 courses in one in this program. So basically it's the Amazing Freedom private label course, how to private label, PPC blueprint on Amazon sponsored ads, and how to use advertising on Amazon to your advantage to lower your or to increase your sales and to lower your costs at advertising. We have the keyword muscle course that goes over how to become an expert at keywords on the Amazon marketplace, so you're ranking for the right products and the right search terms. And then a brand new course that we have is called Outsource Hero. It's about how to use virtual assistants to outsource tasks and processes in your business, so that a lot of people that we know are a little bit hands off now, because they've passed so many of their tasks on to virtual assistants. And so we created this course. I'll talk about that more in just a second. So it's 4-in-1. Let me just explain to you what each of these are really quickly. I'll spend the most time on the private label course because that's the most important component, what we talked about here tonight. And we'll quickly go over this. So in this, it's a 5-phase course. It's over 50 videos of training, really detailed. It gives you everything from A to Z, what you need to know on private label. And we put it all into a really easy to follow video format that's not bad to watch. So it's definitely more interesting than a lot of other stuff out there. In phase 1, and this is the most important, guys, phase 1 is all about becoming an expert at private label research. I already mentioned earlier, 85% of private label success is about finding the right product. And so phase 1, really, we spend a lot of time here. There's a number of videos going how to use the right tools, I saw a question, a number of questions about, are you just going after other people's patented products? No, we teach you how to go after products that are not patented, how to patent your own products, right? If you want to, Liran has a couple patents that he is in the works of. One's about to be approved, but you can sell $1 million of a product that's not even patented, which Andy and Liran have so far. So we spend a lot of time in phase 1 just talking about how you can find the right private label product. And it's really important. That's what we go over. In phase 2, we talk about how to negotiate with manufacturers, find the right person to make your product. We can show you a number of strategies and hacks, whatever you want to call them, to make the process easy. And phase 2 really simplifies the importing process. I went over a high level of it. It gets detailed so that really it answers every question that you could think of about what's going to happen when you import your process. So it's very easy. And then in phase 3, we go over our preparation. Like if you've never created an Amazon listing, we'll show you how to do that, how to send a private label shipment directly from Amazon right to the warehouse so you never have to touch it. That kind of stuff we go over in phase 3, makes it really easy. And then in phase 4, we talk about how you get your product right to the first page of search. We're constantly looking for new ways to do this, but we have some really solid strategies that work over and over for pretty much any private label product that we bring that fits the right criteria. So that's phase 4. And then in phase 5, we just talk about how to build your brand for long-term success. Like Liran said, he wants to potentially sell his brand one day if he wants to. Now, he might just continue to sell it, but if he gets a $4 or $5 million offer to buy his brand, he might do that, right? And that's what we teach you how to do in phase 5 of the course. Okay, and so some people in chat, I'm not looking at the comments right now, but people might be asking, or thinking to themselves, that's great for Andy, it's great for Liran, but does this work for other people? We already looked at some people, but we have a number of people who have been through this training. Here's Pete. Pete was through the training. He's been it for about 1.5 to 2 years. I think we looked at this before, but did over 2 million and over $600,000 in profit, right, with his private label products. Lewis says here, bought the course about 6 months ago. If you can work overtime to buy the course, not only is it the best, but Andy, Liran, and Nathan are always there for you to answer questions. Vanessa here says, I'm so glad to pay for the course. It gave me better understanding into the Amazon marketplace. Sean says that he was live for just short of a month and already sold $74. And I know this product was a very high ticket price, so it was a good amount of sales for him. Craig saying, really appreciate and grateful took the course. You guys are awesome. Hope to meet you in person. Lucian here showing some of his products. So we have a lot of these. I don't want to show them all just for the sake of time, but there's a lot of comments that we get from people that are not just taking the training, but are taking action on it. And guys, 90% of the people that go through our training are people who already do some kind of other model or have never sold on Amazon at all, right? So they either are doing retail arbitrage or online arbitrage or wholesale or never sold at all. And they're able to do this, okay? Let's look at the second part of the program. I mentioned it already. It's the PPC Blueprint course on Amazon sponsored ads. Does anyone in the chat use Amazon sponsored ads that's with us? It's not something that I used before private label, because usually if you're doing RA, OA, wholesale, thrifting, you don't typically need it as much. Here's a screenshot from Liran. In December, he spent $25,000 on Amazon sponsored ads. Yeah, not sales dollars spent, that resulted in over $116,000 in sales and an average cost of sale of 21%. And the reason he did this is because his margins are so good that he can spend this money to rank better and sell more. And so Liran's an expert at Amazon sponsored ads. He's put all of his expertise into a 3-part course called the PPC Blueprint that really just talks about how to set up your campaigns the right way, how to optimize them, remove negative keywords, how how to make sure that your Amazon sponsored ads keep getting lower and lower. And so that course is really good at covering it. And again, all of this talked about isn't included with our program. Lori says here, in the past few weeks, Liron's helped take my business to a whole new level through his expertise in PPC. So it really can be super helpful. So guys, when you sign up, not only are you getting the Amazing Freedom private label course with over 50 videos, you're also getting the PPC Blueprint course. Really big value here. If you were to get this same training directly from us, would be in the thousands to get this type of coaching, all the information we share here. Liron also has a keyword muscle course. It's a 12-part training on using the right keywords. Some of our people say keyword muscle is so addictive. I blazed through it. Another person says the course is fantastic. And really, again, what it does is it teaches you how to use various tools to find the right products, right keywords for products, and then get them ranked to the first page of search. That's a 12-part training series on finding the right keywords. And then again, the brand new course, Outsource Hero. This is a course that I actually put together. Does anyone here with us today have current virtual assistants or ever used virtual assistants before? If you guys are listening and have used a VA, as we usually refer to them as, drop in the chat. I was nervous to hire a VA at first, but since that time, I personally have actually hired 55 VAs just in 2017. Sounds crazy. They weren't all just for myself. I hired them for my own Amazon business and Andy and Liron, and then also in a couple different services that we have. We don't employ all those. We actively only employ about 27. But I did hire over 55 virtual assistants in 2017. And so because of that, that's me there if you haven't seen my face yet. Because of that, we have created the Outsource Hero course. It's a really cool course that goes over where to find VAs, how to hire them, what to expect and avoid, how to have long-term success. And a lot of people don't realize that you can find quality virtual assistants to work in your business for like $2, $3 an hour, okay? It doesn't have to be $20 an hour employed. This is someone that can do really good tasks. We have VAs that are better at their tasks than we would be able to, okay? Like people that are really talented, we can hire them for $2, $3 an hour. And so that's why we decided that this was something really valuable. And that's why when you get all of this, it's not just one course. It's not just a private label course, although that's the most important bulk of it. You also get these other 3 courses with it. And so, Steve, I know that you have a number of bonuses. I know a lot of people are asking the price of this, so we'll go over that as well. And then I'll let you cover the bonuses that are really just exclusive to the people that are listening and in your audience. So I'll give you real quick before that, Steve, how to join up. Anyone can join by going to rakeandprofit.com/join Amazing Freedom. And again, we have a number of bonuses and Steve has a number of bonuses because I love bonuses. Hopefully everybody here loves bonuses because I think it always just makes it more exciting. For those that are interested in joining with us, I know you're interested in the price. It is $19.97, a one-time payment, or 6 months at $399. So we have that 6-month option. I know for a lot of people, it makes it easier if they're able to pay over time. So not only do you get the 4 courses, you get awesome bonuses. And again, Steve's put together an insane package. Steve, if you want to just share everything that you're offering, again, this was pretty crazy, all the stuff you put together.
Sure. Thanks. Definitely doing a great job so far. Yeah, I put together this bonus offer because, I've taken a lot of courses in the past. And one thing that's really benefited me when taking a course is having that additional accountability, having somebody that you can talk to, having different resources other than just the content. So as an affiliate, not only did I want to hook you guys up with what I believe one of the best, courses out there, but I want to give you some of that extra love for you guys to be able to succeed and have the best chance at being successful in this business. So I put together about 10 different bonuses for you guys to really give you the best chance at succeeding in this business. So I'll start to cover some of the bonuses. The first bonus that I put together, thanks to you guys, is we worked out a deal where the first 10 people who purchase the Amazing Freedom program are actually going to get a free 1-hour coaching session with one of you guys. So either with Andy or Liron or yourself, Nathan. So that's huge right there. Being able to have one-on-one time with you guys to ask any questions that you want one-on-one on Skype or Google Hangout. So that's the first bonus right there. Another bonus that I'm throwing in as well is what I like to call private Amazon product research, analysis, and feedback. So inside of the Amazing Freedom program, you're going to get access to all three of these guys as well. So when you get a product or you need feedback on something, they actually give you the option to be able to reach out to them. And each and every week, they actually go through all the products that their students share with them. So maybe, for example, you find a certain electronic item that you want a private label, and you're not sure if you should or not. You're not really sure about the numbers. You're a little nervous, right? Which is normal. Going through the process your first time, you can not only reach out to them, but you could also reach out to me as well and ask any questions that you'd like regarding the product, and I will get you the answer. I've got a really big network of people that I'm associated with, including all three of these guys. So I'm going to be there for you, including Andy and all these guys, when you go through your process. Another thing I'm giving away as well is 6 months of email coaching. So I've got some bonuses that I'm going to get to in a couple minutes related to reselling and whatnot. But essentially, I'm going to give you 6 months access to my personal email. So I don't do any coaching at all. I don't offer it like outside of this at all. So this is really, really exclusive. You'll get my email and you could ask any question related to private label. Or, for example, maybe you're selling on eBay or you're doing thrifting or retail arbitrage to fund your project. Any questions you guys have, just hit me up. I'll even give you my phone number. You can give me a call and we will pretty much work out any issues that you have right there. So that's really big for accountability. Another bonus I'm giving away is what I like to call Find Your Perfect Product workshop. Plus, I've got something that I like to call a secret resource vault. So essentially, I've got a really cool workshop that I'm going to be holding with myself and a couple of my high-level private label buddies. And we're going to be going through the whole process of how to find a private label product, do's and don'ts. And again, a lot of this stuff is, of course, going to be covered in the course. Enough information when it comes to this. Also, don't forget, when you guys do join this course, you get 3 months access to their Inner Circle Facebook group, which is coaching, webinars. So that's a bonus as well. I run a group called The Green Room, and we've been running this for about 2 or 3 years now. It's all about eBay and Amazon and thrifting and retail arbitrage and pawn shops. I'm actually giving away 1 free year for anybody who joins the course into The Green Room. So again, you're going to be able to learn a lot of stuff that's going to be able to help you to be able to fund private labeling, to be able to make money, because, when you're starting off your project in private label, it's going to take some time to succeed. So I want to be able to help you to be able to fund the project and make money doing other things if you're a reseller. Another bonus is a $100 Amazon gift card, which I don't know about you guys, but who here would rather have a gift card from Amazon than just cash? I don't know. In my opinion, I feel like cash and Amazon, it's like the same thing. It's like direct currency. So I'm giving away a $100 gift card. A couple of the bonuses, I'm giving away all of my clothing books, 101, 102 killer clothing brands. Again, to be able to help you to make money while you're building your private label brand. 101 killer men's shoe brands and women's shoe brands. Another great book to be able to find items to flip, to be able to fund your project. And I'm also giving away a garage sale killer guide. So if you were to add up all of this stuff, real life value, it's over $5,000 worth of free bonuses that I'm giving away for you guys, because at the end of the day, I don't want you guys to just buy a course. We don't want to just sell you a course to go through it. We want you to succeed, because when you succeed, you tell your friends you have success. You're a lifetime follower of us and the Rake and Profit channel. So our main goal is for you to succeed. And I pretty much did the best I could to give you guys the incentive and give you the accountability to succeed. So Nathan, that's my bonus, man. I tried to make it as quick as possible, but there's a lot of stuff right there.
Steve, I think you over-delivered in this bonus. I glanced at this quickly when you were first putting it together, but hearing you talk about it all, it's pretty insane, all the stuff that you put in. I actually have a couple more bonuses on our end I'm going to go over. So all this is like bonuses. Extra. Yeah, more bonuses. All this was extra on top of that. Nobody else outside of your group is getting offered, because this is right from you. So this is super cool. I just want to share again, and I'm hearing some people in the chat, and it's so true. We say all the time, we're looking for success stories. That's really what we look for in our group. We don't want just something that only works for a couple of people. Our goal is for success stories, that everyone that goes through our training would come out a success. And you may not need it, but a lot of times this helps cut the learning curve by a huge deal, right? So you already mentioned this, but when you join, A lot of people didn't get this aspect of it. When you join the inner circle, you get literally all your questions answered. Okay. We answer every single question in our Facebook group. And I'm not exaggerating there. Any question that gets asked, we answer. Here's some people that talk about it. Lance says, I know I sound like a kiss up. I can't stop complimenting the group. Hardcore, top quality. Garland says, what Andy, Leron, and Nathan have done for us is unbelievable. Quick to respond to each and everyone. Okay. So we really pride ourselves on that. And we thank Steve for letting us share because like he kind of mentioned already, this kind of reflects on us, right? Everything that we do in this group kind of reflects on Steve. We thank him for putting his trust in us. But I think the reason that he is comfortable with doing that is Steve, actually, I know you had access to the course, to our inner circle. And I think you were able to see that everything we're talking about, we're not just saying, right? We actually do it when we take action on it. So that's why I think he is definitely comfortable doing this. Rachel said that. Carl says, Golden, love being able to ask the issue in front of me. He also says, you're brilliant. Seems like there's never a question I can't ask that you don't know the answer to, right? So we really pride ourselves on answering it. There's not really any group out there on private label that literally the group leaders will answer themselves every single question that's asked. I don't know of anyone that's like that. So you get all the 4 courses, you get all your questions answered as a bonus. So these are our personal bonuses on top of Steve's bonuses, okay? We also hold monthly advanced webinars in the Inner Circle group. We did 17 in 2017. Sorry, losing my voice a little there. We did 17 last year in 2017. We have people, their feedback on our webinars and that we hold. Info is so legit, right? Brenda saying information in the webinar last night was absolutely amazing. So we get a lot of good feedback on these webinars because they're really the most recent, relevant, top-notch, top-quality content that we provide in these webinars. So you get all the courses, you get the Inner Circle 3-month access, the monthly webinars as an Inner Circle member. All that, guys, again, huge value there. We have more bonuses as well, but I wanted to link up there again. rakeandprofit.com/join amazing freedom is how you can get started if you're interested in this. But I need to go over perhaps one of the most important pieces that a lot of people struggle with when it comes to private label. Number one, they're fearful that they're going to pick the wrong product. And because of that, number two, they end up doing nothing, right? Paralysis by analysis. And so they just keep thinking. Steve already mentioned you can send his product to him, which I think is awesome, Steve, that you're doing that. The three of us, though, personally have evaluated over 350 products, I think, of people that sent it to us in 2017. We do this every single week. We've saved people from making huge mistakes. And we've also given other people the confidence needed when they have great ideas. So you might have a product that's bad and we'll tell you, but you might have a product that's great, but without someone telling you that it's a good product, you might never actually pull the trigger on it, okay? So Jerry says, I've submitted products for evaluation and received helpful feedback on both. Thank you guys for you're taking time out of your own personal life. So we sit down every weekend for about 3 to 4 hours and really give her honest feedback. Sean says, thanks for the honest feedback. Can't imagine how many thousands of dollars you're saving us by evaluating these products. So we really pride ourselves on this. Now, we don't think there's anyone else that answers every single question. And we know that there's no other group that provides the evaluation and feedback like this. We're literally the only group that we know of that's out there that will personally evaluate every single product. So again, you get all 4 courses, these 3 bonuses, all of Steve's bonuses that he's providing, all of that at rakeandprofit.com/join amazing freedom. And then we have a couple more bonuses, guys. I'm going to go through these quick because I don't want to keep you too much longer, but we have the full version of the Boost tool. Who here likes Chrome extensions? I'm kind of like an extension junkie. I get like tons of them. Steve's raising his hand. I don't know. I love extensions. This one we developed for our own business. There's some really cool features of it. We have the variation. Actually isn't the variation checker, but variation checker shows you which variation. So like shoes or clothing, for example, it'll show you which size estimated is selling the best. This is the keyword hacker tool that gives you a bunch of, you can see down here, some of the best keywords for a listing. So that's the keyword hacker portion. There's the also the backend search magician. So you can see here for Keurig, we went to a listing, and with the click of a button, it'll show you the backend search terms of that listing. Okay. It's not something that you can usually get really easily, but this is a click of the button. So that's included with the Inner Circle, an extension that we built. Cost us over $1,500 to build. So we think it's pretty cool. We like it, and our members have had really good feedback about it. And I have another bonus here, guys, a free product launch. So we went over how important it is to rank your products to the first page of search. Well, what we're doing is we've actually partnered, we haven't partnered, but we talked to the CEO of a third-party company that's one of the best on the market for getting products to the first page of search, okay? Normally it costs $400 to do what they call like a product launch, but we've worked out a deal with them to get a code where it'll give you literally a free launch. So your first product that you bring, instead of paying that $400, you can get a free launch right to help you to get right to the first page of search. We worked it out. People that use this in our group, we can hear from John here who says, I'm at 40 orders today and they're all my own products, completely bought in on the PL Life. That's because John used this same program to launch his product to the first page of search and sell, 40 plus orders a day. That was just from a couple weeks ago. So really cool. You get access to all of that and the free launch code in that bonus. Again, guys, you can join at rakeandprofit.com/join amazing freedom. There's the one-time payment or the 6-time payment. Anyone that's selling on Amazon already, we have a bonus number 6. And sorry to overload, Steve, you had 10 bonus. We were at like 16 here probably now with ours and yours. But anyone who sells on Amazon might know that there are reimbursements at times that you're supposed to get owed, but you don't get. So anyone that sells retail or wholesale now, if you're not actively going after reconciling your inventory, you might be losing out on money that is owed to you. So we've helped people through this partner service of ours recover. Here's Todd getting 2,000 back, Michael getting over 1,100 back, and Dan getting over $4,700 back, right? And so if you're not familiar with this, it's basically with FBA. Sometimes Amazon loses or damages your items at FBA, the warehouse. They're supposed to reimburse you, but they don't always. And so this service, we're going to give you a month for free. You can use it for the month, get like thousands of dollars back if you already sell on Amazon, and then, not use it anymore. That's completely fine. And if you don't sell on Amazon yet, you can use it anytime in 2018. That's a bonus number 6 here. And we're going to stop there, but we do have another bonus. We'll get to the first 50 signups. Now, this one is almost gone because the course has been open a couple of days now. So I think at the time of us starting this, there was maybe 5 left. So this may or may not, I haven't checked, be left for you guys. Anyone who knows when you're bringing a product to the marketplace, you need to create a listing. And so you need to have images. And so we have a service actually called the Amazing Freedom Magic Image Service. This could be, anyone that sells on eBay knows how important images are. But on Amazon, they're even more important, right? And there's more rules and guidelines that are involved with it. So we did over 1,000 ASINs or products in 2017 through this service. What we do is we take products like this fidget spinner here. Anyone have a fidget spinner, or were you in that craze? Hopefully people didn't private label them after they kind of got way too saturated, right? Well, we can take a product like this and we can add images and logos and models all through Photoshop and digital enhancements. Okay, we have teams of graphic designers that are really, really skilled at taking a product and making it look like people are using it. And so this is an actual sample that our team did. And this is just a sneak peek of the kind of stuff we can do. Here's a couple people that said, I would have paid $400 or $500 for this. Mine turned out amazing, no pun intended. This person saying, I got mine back. I was afraid because it was hard to photograph, but they turned out amazing. And so we're really proud of this service. It's done, we've done really cool stuff with it. And that's going to be free for the next couple people up until that 50 though. So that may or may not be sold out right now. But I think there's still a couple spots left. So that would still be included. You get the 4 courses, the 6 bonuses there, free magic image service. And so that's a total of rakeandprofit.com/join amazing freedom. 7 bonuses, okay, there. And then a last one that we have, a last bonus I'm going to go over. Remember that product discovery tool? I saw someone say that they liked that tool. It's a really cool tool. We actually worked out a deal again with the CEO of Viral Lunch there to get a coupon code just for our Inner Circle members. So if you're thinking about using that tool, it's a great tool. You don't have to have it, but if you're thinking about it, we worked out a deal to get 20% off the monthly or 30% off the annual exclusive to our group. This could be a big saving depending on if you do the annual or whatever. It could be $250 plus in savings just by using this coupon code that is there. So we have all these bonuses, the 4 courses, the 3 months access to the Inner Circle, all your questions answered, all of that. You guys can join again at Rake and Profit. Huge value there between all of that. rakeandprofit.com/join. So my question would be, if you just had one product, like these guys have, where you didn't have to touch it, you can bring it from China right to Amazon, potentially, 6-figure, 7-figure product. What would it be worth to you, right? Some of you enjoy the hunt or enjoying whatever you're doing, but what do you want to do if you want to scale your business, right? If you want to scale it up, but at the same time, not take more of your life to do it, right? So how much would you be willing to pay to get into this, in the private label, where you don't need to touch it, where you can kind of automate your business? That's what we help you do. We kind of hold your hand through the whole process. Some of this you guys can figure out on your own, I'm sure. It's all about what your time is worth. If you want to do it with maybe avoiding some of the mistakes that we've made in the past, and hopefully can help you make. And again, that is the link to there. We'd love to answer your questions, but I do want to let you guys know that we have a cap on the number of people that can go into this, okay? This is open until Friday. Since we opened this, we were taking 150 people. At the time that we started this, I'm not sure what it is right now, but at the time we started, there was 103 spots left. The reason we do that is because we only open it twice a year. And that's because when we do open it, we really spend a lot of personal time with the people that are joining the program. And so we're not able to just open it all the time, and we're not able to take too many people, because we do spend so much personal attention with the people that join the group. So there are a limited number of spots. If we hit that number, we'll close it down. Otherwise, it's going to be January 12th. That's Friday, where we end that. Again, those are Steve's bonuses. We'd love to answer questions. I know we had a number of questions before. So if you guys have more questions, now's the time where we would love to answer those. Anything related to private label, Amazon in general. I know we saw some questions before, so I think we could answer those. Steve, if you have anything to say while Liran hops on and we answer some of those questions, I'll hand it to you for a second.
Yeah, sure. So, yeah, there's been so many people asking about private label and getting started, and I get so many questions coming all the time. And unfortunately, I can't answer them all, but so many people are asking about this. This is why I brought them onto the show for you guys. For all the people who want to start, who want to change, maybe you've tried Googling all the answers before, you've tried just watching YouTube videos. It's tough without having something step-by-step from somebody that you can actually trust. And, Nate had mentioned earlier that they're not just selling the shovels like some other course creators are. They're actually in this game. Liran did 1.6 million. Andy did 3 million. Nathan, I'm not sure what you did, but all these guys are actually selling on Amazon FBA, private label, and succeeding. So if you're looking to get started, I've known these guys for years. Personally, I'm in their course. I'm in their inner circle. And I can tell you right now that they answer all of their questions. This isn't just a course where you're going to go in and you're going to be left alone. I've been there. I've done that before in other courses, and you scratch your head wondering, why did I spend my money on this? The reason I brought these guys on is because they're actually caring people. They're not here to just sell you a course. They're actually here to see you succeed. And I can tell you right now, you guys are in really, really good hands. So with that being said, I mean, I've written down so many questions from people asking. We've probably got 11 or 12 questions. So I don't know if you guys want me to feed you some of the questions. My goal here is to stump you. Nathan, you said you were up for a challenge. So I want to see if I could stump any of you guys with these questions. So
yeah, let's hear it. Give us a good one. Give us the hard one, Steve. Start off strong.
Oh, man. Okay. So I don't know if I'm going to start with the hardest one because there's like so many questions here. But a common question I had seen in the comments was, so when you're private labeling, are you using somebody's patent, or are you just putting your own logo on it? So that was something a lot of people were confused with.
Yep. So I'll take this one. So generally, in its simplest form, private labeling means, taking a product that a factory is already making, putting your logo on it and selling it. Now, what we teach is also to look for how to make possible improvements to a product, or change the color, or make some changes. But essentially, it's putting your logo on it. There's generally 99% of the time no patent involved. Now, obviously, if someone has a patent on a product, you don't want to make a copy of that product, right? But generally, patents are not involved in that process.
And so, Liran,
Awesome.
we teach people how to do patent research to make sure they're not going to go after a product that is patented. And if they really are concerned about it, there's ways you can reach out to professionals that can help you make sure for sure that there's no patent.
Right.
Awesome. So another question we had in the comments was, when you're private labeling, do you have to FBA your items, which means do you have to send them off to the Amazon warehouses, or can you private label as a merchant, which means can you have your items shipped to your house, hold them at your house, and then ship them to the customers? What do you guys do when it comes to your private label businesses?
Yeah, Andy, why don't you take this, because Andy does merchant fulfill. Most of the time we're FBA because it's so easy to scale. You don't have to touch it, but Andy does merchant fulfill. Andy, maybe you can share.
Sure. So, one of the, if you really want to scale up, doing FBA is the way to go. So that way Amazon handles all the fulfillment. However, there are certain products where it makes sense. And so the product I was actually sharing earlier sold $1 million worth of it in 2017. That is actually a product that we merchant fulfill. So we send that product to customers ourselves. Now, thankfully, we get good rates through UPS. And so the shipping is not that much. And this is actually an oversized product, so it's a larger product. But one of the reasons we've done that is because there's a layer there with the customer that we're a little closer than if it was FBA. So sometimes when you're bringing a product like the one we bring to market, customers can return it a little easier and don't necessarily contact you as quickly as if you're merchant fulfilling. So we've been able to really been able to put off a lot of negative reviews because those customers contact us, and then we're able to work out with them. So that's kind of one good way to start. So you absolutely can merchant fulfill. Like I said, this product has made me a lot of money over the last 18 months, and it's all merchant fulfilled.
Cool. Liran, I want to ask you a question. What would you say? This was a question that we received from Jacko Man, who's been killing it in the comments. So thanks so much for being a part of this. What's the top criteria that you look for when you're analyzing whether you're going to private label a product or not? Maybe are there 3 things that come to mind?
Yeah. So the first thing is I want to find something with customer demand. And so interestingly enough, I happened to be talking on our website chat with somebody who's right here watching us also at the same time. And, they have a family member that has sort of like invented a product, right? And they're asking me, is this a good private label product to launch? And the question is, and like, it doesn't exist, right? And could be a great idea. But so what we need to look at is there customer demand for a keyword customers would be typing in on Amazon, right? So we need to look at that. Is there customer demand? Is the product highly saturated on Amazon? Are there pages and pages of the same result? Can I compete? What do reviews look like on the first page? Does everyone have thousands of reviews? Or are there some sellers selling well with like less than 100 reviews, right? Does it have a good, healthy amount of sales? That means sellers on the first page selling, not just one seller selling like 5,000 or 10,000 a month of that product, but multiple sellers selling 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, 10,000 of that product every single month. On the first page. You want to see depth to the product. So customer demand, you look at the reviews, depth, things like, saturation. All those things are things we consider. And then one question, I always like to ask is, why would somebody buy from me? Can I differentiate the product at all? Can I read all the negative reviews? Amazon has so much data. Can I read all the negative reviews on Amazon on my competition, then go to my supplier and say, hey, here are some problems that customers don't like about this type of product. How can we improve it? And then your supplier might give you those suggestions, better materials, ideas on how to improve something.
Steve, before you get into that next question, I just wanted to say that we do have a 30-day, no questions asked, money back guaranteed. I saw you put that in the comments, so I just wanted to mention that because a lot of people just want to know. They want to get in there. They kind of want to test it a little bit. They want to, see some of the information, know if it's going to apply to them. So all the risk is on us. We don't ask questions or tell people that they need to complete a certain amount of the course. I know some courses do that and we'll say like, only if you complete this amount and share with us why you don't need it. We don't really ask questions. It's 30-day, no questions asked. So there's no risk. And the reason we can do that is because we're really confident that honestly, we have the best training out there for private label.
Awesome. Yep. Definitely great to mention that. Hey, Andy, let me ask you a question. When you are, let's say you find a product that you want to private label and you end up finding your supplier, you negotiate a deal. Somebody was asking, it was actually Simply Troy was asking, what shipping method do you use? How do you determine how you're going to get that item shipped from the supplier to either the warehouse or to yourself? So how do you determine the shipping method?
Yep. So yeah, great question. That was actually one of the big hesitations I had before I got into private labeling, because it just seemed like way too complicated process. I couldn't even envision. I was getting all my product from Walmart, or from Target. Couldn't envision, putting my product, from a factory in China onto a boat and then bringing it over. So a couple of things. One is, if it's a smaller product that doesn't weigh that much, you can absolutely air ship it. And generally the price is not that high. So, really amazing rates with DHL and UPS. The other way is you're going to ship it by boat. And again, that seems like, oh man, I have to get a customs bond. That's going to be complicated. Really, all you need to do is get a freight forwarder. And so we actually have suggestions that we give to people. And that freight forwarder actually contacts your manufacturer. So you give that freight forwarder your manufacturer information, and then they handle the entire process. And so it was a lot easier than what I thought it was going to be. I do absolutely nothing. I give the freight forwarder my manufacturer's email. They contact the rep, and then the next thing, my product either shows up at an Amazon warehouse or it shows up at a third-party warehouse where I'm sending it. So it's actually a seamless process.
Awesome information right there. Here's another question, and maybe I could stump Nathan. So there was a comment that had come in earlier talking about private label being too risky and that only a small percentage of people actually succeed. And I saw Leron was smiling, and I think he had put a comment in earlier and put his 2 cents in. But Nathan, what would you say to somebody who, and I think that's a fair assessment, because I know when I started my eBay business and Amazon and different businesses, I had that same kind of skeptical mindset as well, where I thought to myself, I don't know if I can do it, if I'm smart enough or I'm talented enough. Like, what would you say, Nathan, as someone who says it's too risky? Not enough people are succeeding with private label. What would your response be?
Yeah, it's a great, very valid question, right? And my answer, I didn't see Leron's comment earlier, so Leron, if you want to add to it after I'm done, you definitely can. But I would say the first time you do anything, it seems kind of complicated, right? The first time I tried retail arbitrage, for those familiar with that, or going to a thrift store, I was like, man, I don't know where to start. I walked in the store and I kind of froze, right? I tried to start scanning, I felt awkward, and it seemed hard. Over time, once I started selling, I sold $250,000 worth of RA one year, right? Or in OA. By the end of that, I was really confident with the process, right? And I actually didn't even have anyone to really help me through that process. There was some groups and stuff. So the first time you look at private label and you're not familiar, from the outside, you might say that's too hard. We actually don't mind when people think that, because to us, it's like, that's fine. You can think it's too hard and kind of stay out there. But if you have the right training and the right processes and follow the right data, kind of all the stuff that we talked about, it really greatly reduces that risk you're saying of not being good. If you go in blindly, not following the data or data, however you want to pronounce it, not following it, not really looking at it the right way, right? Then it is going to be risky, because you're kind of just blindly going out there and hoping, right? You're kind of going by blind hope. But if you're not hoping, if you're following the right systems and data and using the right processes and systems, it really reduces the risk. And especially if you throw in there experience, having, again, we'll evaluate your product based on our experience. Again, it greatly reduces that risk. Leron, I'll let you say what you said in the comments earlier too, because I didn't see that part.
I didn't get a chance to say this in the comments, so I'll talk about. Let's talk about Jeff Bezos, right? I think again, just jump to the richest person in the world this week, and Jeff Bezos has something called the regret minimization strategy, right? So when Jeff Bezos told his boss, when he was working a job as a software as an engineer in the financial services industry, and he told his boss, I have this great idea for an online bookstore. And his boss told him, it's a great idea, but it's not for you. You make too much money already, right? Like in your job, you shouldn't quit, right? And how did he make the decision to leave his job and go do that? Well, he said, he doesn't want to be 80 years old. and look back at his life and say, you know, I have regrets of what I never did, right? And he calls this the regret minimization framework, right? You don't want to look back and say, hey, I didn't try, right? And so, you know, if you look at statistics in business in general, right? And we've all seen these statistics that, you know, like 80 or 90% of businesses fail in the first year. Well, where else are you going to be able to start a business, a real business, for, you know, a couple $1,000s of inventory of products? And you know, I think the people who fail are the ones who either don't take action or they quit, right? Because I think your first launch, your first private label product launch, that is your MBA in private label, right? That experience is more valuable than anything. Now, obviously, with the course, you're going to be guided to hopefully make as little mistakes as possible. But that first experience of just doing it and taking action, consider that if you break even, awesome, right? Consider that your Harvard degree or MBA in private label education. But if you say, hey, I only broke even or I lost a few $100 and you don't keep moving forward and go for the next product launch, then you fail. But I think the people who are have this burning desire to succeed and keep moving forward in their business have a much better chance, or have as good a chance as any other business where, you know, you can't start, you know, you look at a franchise or, you know, look at other businesses, they take $50,000, $100,000 to start, right? And e-commerce is just, you know, still such a small percentage of retail sales that I think it's a tremendous opportunity. So I would say if you're looking to make a decision, you know, and I've now followed the philosophy of Jeff Bezos for regret minimization. What if you don't do it, right? I have a friend who a few years ago was on the brink of going bankrupt in his pizza franchise business. Well, he got an email about an Amazon course. He took it, and his business was literally, he had to file bankruptcy. This past year, he did $4.5 million in sales on Amazon. And he took a leap of faith, right? Because he was in a position with his back to the wall. And he decided, look, I have nothing else to lose. I'm going to go for this course. And he took action. And it became really successful. So, you know, if you look at it from a regret minimization and you want to do it, then the question is, what if you don't do it?
That's an awesome response right there. Thanks for the motivation, guys, on that one. Andy, let me toss this one over to you. I know we mentioned a little bit about this previously, but there were some people asking about, you know, what are the best products to private label? And, you know, my first response was, you know, there's millions and millions of products that you can private label, but I wanted to dig a little deeper into it. Is there a specific category that you recommend somebody get started in, or maybe categories that you recommend they stay away from because they could be dangerous or hazardous? So Andy, why don't you take that one?
Sure. Yeah. So it's definitely, I don't think there's necessarily a recommended category. The main thing you want to look at when you're looking for a potential product, again, is the sales velocity. And so, you know, the category doesn't necessarily matter. Although we do say, you know, if it's your first product, you want to tend to stay away from mechanical type items or electrical type items. Those are a little more, take a little more advanced sourcing. And so, you know, you don't want to do anything of that nature. However, you know, our famous line is the riches are in the niches. And so you really want to dig down, and it can be in industrial and scientific category. It can be in home and garden category. It can be really in any category you want, as long as you niche down and find those products. The main thing is the sales velocity. So you got to use that Amazon BSR for that, and then limited amount of competition. So that's where the people get wrecked the most, is they pick a product that is way too saturated. There's 10 pages of listings, you know, with that product. And there's just too much competition for you to be able to compete with those keywords that all those listings are going for.
And again, that's another great thing about what you guys offer in the course, is when somebody actually comes across an item and they obviously follow everything that you guys teach in terms of how to choose a product, it's a little nerve-wracking, but they can actually bring that product to you guys and ask you, hey, listen, should I or should I not private label this? And it's not just a yes or a no, because I know when I went through your guys' course, I reached out to Andy, and he was helping me out on Facebook, just whether I should do it or I shouldn't do it. And they go through and they teach you why you should or why you shouldn't when you bring that product to them. So that's really, really important right there to know you have that in your corner. Liron, here's a question that someone asked earlier, and I've got all these questions written down from earlier. So hopefully you guys are enjoying this content. Do you ship from the manufacturer to the Amazon warehouse, Liran, or do you ship from the manufacturer supplier in China to yourself, and then you inspect it and then ship it? What's the best way for someone doing it for the first time?
I've done both methods. So you can ship direct to Amazon. What you want to make sure to do is that you get an inspection in China. It costs maybe about $100 to get an inspection of your product in China, and then you can ship direct to Amazon. Some people like in the first order to send it either to themselves or to like a third-party warehouse. We also have those recommendations and have them inspected before it gets sent into Amazon. So it kind of depends on up to you. Also, I would consider maybe on the product, right? Is this am I more concerned about maybe something happening on my first shipment, possibly to the product or something where I want it to be, looked at. But you can do either way. Now I generally ship my products direct to Amazon, or I'm starting to use a third-party warehouse because I'm trying to keep more inventory in the U.S. so I don't go out of stock, and I'll store it at a third-party warehouse because I can get lower storage fees than on Amazon. But I ship a lot of products just direct to Amazon and never touch a product. When I first started, I was doing everything out of my basement. I had a couple of college kids. Everything came to my house. I had a couple of college kids help me pack and ship it into Amazon. And then, I decided, I don't really need to do that, and now ship direct to Amazon.
Cool. I love that. I love the fact that you can actually pretty much, you ever see those like late night commercials and stuff, and obviously Amazon and private label isn't get rich, but you ever watch those commercials and it's like you're laying on the beach and working, and it's like, it's just nonsense. The funny thing is you can actually like to an extent do that with private label, right? You could do it internationally. So I know there was someone in the comments earlier asking about selling books internationally. And I wasn't 100% sure of the answer, but I know there's a lot of people who are international outside the United States, and then they order from the manufacturer in China and then ship it to the United States warehouses. So it's kind of cool. Like you can actually run this business from a laptop. It is in a sense a laptop lifestyle business because you don't have to touch the products once you get certain systems in line. So just a really, really cool business model right there. One of the last questions I had, and again, if anyone else has any more questions, feel free to ask away, but someone was asking in the comments, is it okay for my friends to buy my product and then get reviews for it? Because I know Nathan was mentioning the importance of getting reviews and ranking your products. I'll let one of you guys take this. Is it okay for your friends to buy your product and leave a review?
Yeah, so no, that's not okay. According to Amazon's terms of service, you're not supposed to have people really that buy your products and leave a review for you. Now, you will see a lot of courses and programs out there teaching it because, as you mentioned, Steve, getting reviews are really important to one of the most important pieces is the social proof. So when people see lots of reviews, right? When people go to Amazon and you say, oh, look at all these 5-star reviews, it's like this social proof. Andy talked about how they were able to improve, his products from that he sold $1 million plus of last year from a 3.5-star product that the competitor was to like a 4.5 or to 5-star, right? So reviews are important. Technically, terms of service, no, you're not supposed to. Some things people will do is send it to people and then refund them through PayPal, right? So they kind of have developed all these sneaky ways to get around Amazon's review process. Getting reviews are important. We do not teach to do that because it is against Amazon's terms of service. In some cases, I guess it could be considered illegal, right? To like this kind of manipulation. So we don't teach that. We have other strategies for getting reviews, follow-up sequences, and sales and launching. The thing that some people don't do right, Steve, or their thought process is wrong, is they think that reviews in the beginning automatically equals ranking, right? So they think if I get the reviews, it means I'm going to rank and I'm going to sell, which isn't the case. Okay. Reviews don't directly affect ranking or your bestseller rank. Does not play into part for reviews. Now the social proof part, it does play a factor, but you can rank to the first page of search. You can get to the first page of search without any reviews. Okay. Now you do want to start generate reviews as soon as you can because it helps you stay kind of towards the top of search and it helps you cement your place there. But there are definitely ways. We have people launching products without doing the kind of fake review style and that are sticking and doing really great sales. There are strategies out there where some people will have a friend of a friend, do it or whatever. Again, we don't teach that. Some people do it and they have it successful. We wouldn't directly say that's the way to do it. And if someone else is telling you to do that, I mean, you just might want to be careful because they might not, they could do something that could get you in trouble, right? So we try to keep it all straight in the way that we're doing it, because we've still been able to build really big businesses and help other people do it the right way.
Awesome information right there. Thanks for answering that. So it looks like we went through pretty much all of the questions that came in. Kevin Hansen says, okay, cool. I think he answered my question already. So yeah, looks like we got through all the questions. A lot of people asking questions. So thank you for all the Amazon private label questions. Nathan, I'm going to pass it back over to you. I don't know if you guys have any closing words for everybody, but yeah, really had a lot of fun chatting with you guys, and people in the comments are going crazy. Everyone seemed to be having a lot of fun. So Nathan, any closing words for people during this show?
Yeah, Steve. So we'd like to say, love to be on. We loved being on here with you tonight. It's really great to talk private label anytime. We have a private label podcast actually called the Amazon Seller Podcast. So we love talking private label. We love talking Amazon. We do it every single day. The three of us are always chatting. We're always chatting with people in our inner circle group. So we really love what we do here. And part of the reason we love it is because we do find success with it, right? We find success selling on Amazon and making it a real profitable business that works. Steve, I think the bonuses that you put together for this package, it's not even listed on this page here, guys. The bonuses you put together, we haven't offered to anyone ever before, obviously, because it's your bonuses. I think that's really cool. Definitely an awesome opportunity for those interested in that. But our own bonuses here, we've never put together a package this big. We're really excited about it. Like I said, this is a limited opportunity. We have our reasons for that. One of them being that we spend so much time with the people. And so this is only open until this Friday, January 12th at midnight. So if you're interested in private label, if you think that if you see the opportunity and you think this is something you're interested in, and you're not quite sure, another thing you can do is you can go to Steve, maybe you'll be dropping these in the comments, or I know you've had emails going out about our free training series that we've had. That will also be available until the 12th. So if you're interested, we give some more details and getting started steps in that training. It's a four-part video series, and we give away some free bonus resources on each of those videos. So check that out if you're still trying to determine whether this is right for you or not. You're kind of on the fence. You're going to want to check out those videos because I think it really lays out a good foundation. We did that tonight too, but I think it gives an even better outlook. And we actually show like some product research examples, and it's not a yoga mat. Okay. Anyone that saw the yoga mat, don't do that one. Okay. I saw someone comment like, now all these people are going to doing yoga mats. There's enough already. Trust me. But we go over some examples, and then once you get into the course, again, we close it on the 12th because we're going to have a webinar starting next week on like private label research that's only for our inner circle members. Okay. It'll probably be like a 2-3 hour webinar on finding your first product and what to look for, what to avoid. So people are asking like, how do I actually find that right product? We're going to cover all that, the things you want to look for, the things you want to avoid, and how to find that first product and send it to us. So we're really excited. We're going to be going full force 2018. We had a couple hundred people join us in 2017. Tons of success stories. If you want more screenshots of people making this work, reach out to us. So you can talk to people that have been in our course, whatever. You can go to amazingfreedom.com, and there's a chat bubble there too if you want to speak directly to us through chat. The three of us are on there usually until like 3 or 4 in the morning because Leron and I stay up late. So you guys can reach out. We're really excited. Steve, we just want to say again, thanks for having us on here. We appreciate you. I know I've been following you for a long time, Andy too. And we love Rake and Profit, and soon to be Rake and Shoveling as soon as you get that snow business.
Yes. Going. That's right.
Man,
so
that's all I have. So thank you.
Awesome. Did I mention that if you get the course as well, I'm throwing in a snow shovel as well and a snow plow. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. Andy, thank you so much. I've been following you for years as well, man. And I know we've met up at a couple conferences, and I've really enjoyed your course. Leron, man, you're freaking awesome, man. It was awesome spending time with you, with Chris Green and all those other guys over at the what was that?
Ace.
Was that the Ace? Yes. Yes. So hopefully I see you again there as well. And Nathan, man, it's been pleasure working with you and everything. But yeah, everybody, you guys are in really good hands. If you've been having that feeling, like that inkling inside, that gut feeling, just saying like, I got to do private label. I know the market's shifting. Like like it's getting harder with thrift stores. Like I need a more sustainable business model. And like you've tried it before, but you're just, because there's so many moving pieces and there's just something telling you, I need to do this. I need to do this. I need to do this. Now's your chance, guys. I'm telling you, you're in really good hands. I'm personally friends with all of these guys. They're going to answer all your questions. And I can tell you right now, if you give it 100% and you really dedicate and commit yourself and make the decision, go through the course, and not only go through the course, but take action step by step. I'm telling you, you guys will be successful. You can do it. You don't have to be a rocket scientist. You don't have to be the top of your class in Harvard. You just have to take action. Anybody can do this. So I'm here for you guys. If you guys do get the course, the first link down below, that will give you guys access to all the bonuses, including all my bonuses as well. Course closes January 12th. So if you want in, now's your chance. But with that being said, guys, thank you so much. I appreciate all your information. And everybody watching, if you enjoyed this, hit the like button, leave a comment, and I really appreciate you guys. Go crush 2018. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Take care.